You ever do an FTP test and you finish and think to yourself, bro, how accurate is this thing? Like, this just seems a little bit off. Well, today I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to do an FTP test out here on the track outside, and then I'm going to do an FTP test in the lab, measuring my blood lactate. And we'll see just how accurate is the traditional FTP test that we would be doing outside. My name is Ely, the go-to coach for busy cyclists. Let's dive in. Alrighty, so let's walk you through the FTP test that I'm going to be doing today. This is an RPE-based test, meaning rate of perceived exertion, and it is the exact same one that I prescribe to my clients when they first sign on, and also around either 6 or 12 weeks into the training program to see their progress. So the RPE test is really fully based on your perceived exertion, meaning I'm not actually going to be looking at my power or my heart rate data because I don't want to psychologically psych myself out or skew the numbers or think I can push more or think I'm pushing too hard. I simply want to develop the skill of proprioception and listening to my body and listening to whether I feel I'm pushing too hard, what's an 8 out of 10 feel like, what's a 10 out of 10, what's a 3 out of 10. It starts off with a couple minutes of warm up, then we enter some fast pedaling drills to simulate some fast cadence and open up and warm up the legs for the efforts to come. Then we do a 5-minute all-out effort. Now, this is a really important effort for a few reasons. The 5-minute all-out allows us to empty the tank, in a sense, for your anaerobic system. So if you are a, let's say, more anaerobically gifted rider, such as myself, and you'll know this if you have really high bursts of power for short efforts. So let's say your 1 minute, your 2 minute, your 30-second efforts are really strong, but your 10 minute, 20 minutes aren't nearly as strong, you probably have a really well-developed anaerobic system, aka glycolytic system. And what happens is sometimes if you don't allow yourself to empty the tank and you just go in and do a 20-minute effort, for example, or a 20-minute climb, and you say, oh, look at that, my FTP looks so high, when in reality, the anaerobic system actually skewed the numbers forward. So that might not be your actual training zone. And this happened with me several times where for 20 minutes, I may have been able to hit 300 watts, but that doesn't mean my FTP is 300 watts or even 290 watts because the anaerobic system contributed to it. So that 5-minute allows us to just fully empty the anaerobic tank. Then we have a couple of minutes of endurance, around 10 minutes just to recover, and we'll have either 1 or 2 intervals, depending on the athlete's experience. I'll either prescribe a 2 by 10 minute or a 1 by 20 minute. And it really depends on if I feel the athlete is able to pace the effort well, then I'll prescribe the 20-minute effort. But if they're more beginner or pacing is a problem or just psychologically, doing a 10-minute effort is a lot easier to handle than doing 20 minutes. So after this, we'll go ahead and dive into the results. You can watch me suffer for a little bit here. Then we'll compare with the lab and we'll see whether the road test was actually accurate.
All right, so we're heading into our 5-minute all out in 1 minute. Again, exhausting the anaerobic system so that it doesn't skew the results when the threshold test comes. I hate 5-minute efforts. Wish me luck, guys. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 2 minutes down. 3 to go. Halfway. 90 seconds. 1 minute, let's go. Oh my gosh. That was hard. We're about to enter our first FTP effort. Okay. Not gonna be fun. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Not going to aero, just in a comfortable position. So I wanna be able to hold this and just get into a rhythm. If I get to aero, I won't get into a good rhythm. 4 minutes, 6 to go. Halfway. 3 minutes. 1 minute. 30 10. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was hard. Once again, the Insta360 died. Recovering now. We'll repeat and then we'll show you guys the results.
We have made it to Wolfis High Performance Center, and today I have the pleasure of working with Mr. Viktor himself.
Hey, nice to meet you. Welcome to Wolfis High Performance Center.
So we're about to check my height and my weight, and to be honest, I think I'm around 77.5 this morning. Probably like I ate a few hours ago. I'm a little intimidated for these tests. Not only have I not done like a maximal test or even a sub-maximal effort in a while, the last one I did was like in Romania where I pushed really hard to get a KOM on a segment. That was like 2.5 months ago now, so I'm a little intimidated, but damn, yeah, I'm scared. My heart rate's just going up thinking about it.
Basically what we're going to do now, like some very basic anthropometrical measurements. So we're going to take your height, your weight, and we're going to do the skin caliper test.
Cool. Haven't done that before.
Yeah, really?
No, never.
It's actually that's a good way to check your body fat percentage.
I've recommended it. I've never done it.
Okay, so good for us for today. Yeah, let's go for it. So please remove your flip-flops, step on the plate, face to me. 182.3.
Wow, I got taller.
182.3. Gonna rate.
Who knew you still grew in your 20s?
You can remove your flip-flop, step on the scale. Nice, very good weight. 77.4.
Yes, I'm glad it's the same as it was this morning. I measured this morning at 77.4.
Yeah, so nothing is get affected. Very good.
Really? Mm-hmm. What am I at?
13.2. That's very good. Basically, I want to tell you briefly about the two major types of tests we are providing here. Let's divide them by two categories: submaximal and maximal tests. Okay. So the maximal test is the VO2 max.
Yeah, as hard as you can possibly go.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about is it a good idea 8:30?
This is normally, I'm actually about to ask you the implications, because normally I would be in bed at this time.
Yeah.
So what are the implications in a performance standpoint?
Yeah, so it's definitely true that usually we ask our clients to come in the morning and we try to perform this test early morning because you're not accumulating your fatigue during the day. Yeah, so...
so it could, if I get a really bad number, it could be higher.
True. We always can say that, guys, we started pretty late today, so...
Guys, the technology was off today.
Yeah. So this is I like this test because it gives you the benchmark.
Okay.
The zones, and it gives you the VO2 max number. But I would say that one is the very unvalidated test is their fat max test. The fat max test also
gives you the zones.
Yeah, it's not gives you a zone. So it also comes with the mask on your face. So we also perform the test with mask, but test looks different. It looks differently. So this is not a maximal test. You don't need to go up till the end.
This is maybe correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is measuring the maximum amount of fat that we can burn before we shift to carbs as the main source, right?
Yeah. Okay. And this basically the protocol looks like a stages protocol. So we go
similar to a ramp test, right?
Yeah. We do for VO2 max we do the ramp test, which is incremental increases pretty quick. Rather than the stages test, it's 7 minutes long stages, and we're able to see how well your body get adapted to the workload before you jump on the next stage. Mm-hmm. So, and the main target is to see the moment where you start burning carbs more than fats. So we can exactly say, okay, here is your threshold.
Zone 2 threshold.
This is the most efficient. This workload is the time when you're burning the carbs there in the most efficient way. Why? I mean, you might tell me, but we can get this number, zone 2 numbers from the VO2 max test. But let's think about it from another perspective of view, that we get the zone 2 based on calculation. So our zones, what we get usually, we're calculating from our FTP.
Yeah, so 52 to 75. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Rather than here, we based on their real data what we get from your body, from the respiratory
And
system.
you can tell also a lot of the time, especially when you're playing with heart rate, right? You can tell that a person's heart rate might be vastly different than what the calculation is. Their zone 2 with the calculation might be like 140, but then you see it's actually 155. Their max heart rate's way higher, genetic factors and stuff.
True.
So I think that's probably a good idea to test the body and see what my body is capable of.
Yeah. Because as far as I remember, based on your blog and your videos, you do volumes as well. So would be interesting to see. I mean, you are trained well at the moment.
Oh, okay, with a baby, okay. But the past couple of weeks, I can say I'm blessed. I got like 7 or 8 hours in riding for the past 3 weeks, I think. So that's fairly decent. Interestingly enough, I don't know if this has any implications. I have a very low resting heart rate.
Okay.
So we're talking like mid-30s.
Oh, okay, that's super low.
Yeah, exactly. Like I once was wearing my Apple Watch and it was like waking me up in the middle of the night, like, bro, you're at 28 right now. You cannot like go to the hospital. I'm like, it's fine. So I think that might have some implications on a lot of the stuff we do as well. I've never gone above 190.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
At all, and even at like my max. So I don't even know if it's possible for us. But we'll see. What do you recommend? Here are my goals. I'm trying to, of course, the norm, increase FTP, the norm, get back to my fitness. And I really want to be able to hit my 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute power just like up. Because I'm really strong anaerobically. I'm able to hit like near 700 watts for a minute, 1700 watts for my 5-second sprint. I'm not strong aerobically. I think my max 5-minute was around 390. Which is still good, but good. Like it's not fantastic in any means.
I would say it's maybe more beneficial for you to close your targets is to actually do the submaximal test and to see what's going on with your metabolism.
And should we repeat that at any point and see how like the training is working?
I would say it's a good idea to repeat. So basically, how are you going to use how you're going to implement this data into your training routine? Now you're going to be guided for your long fat burning sessions, not by the calculated number, by the exact number.
Right. Which makes it much more efficient and reliable, right?
So additionally to that, the same test protocol allows me to take the lactate samples, and we can build up the lactate curve and see how good is your lactate threshold.
Nice.
So basically, idea to see the lactate curve like going smoothly as long as possible and spike at the very end. So that would be also interesting to see. So we can take this as a benchmark. You're gonna adjust your training schedule if needed. If you will see big difference with data, you can adjust, and then we can do like in some time we can repeat the test and we can just compare the numbers.
Especially after a training block or something.
And every stage gonna last for 7 minutes, and then we're gonna go on another one, which is 35 watts incremental increase. So every stage I'm gonna take their blood sample from your right ear. And that moment I will show you this spreadsheet, and you just need to pick the rate where you are at this moment. So that's the thing. So during the test, I really recommend you to avoid to talk, because it will also affect the readings.
The breathing. And the breathing,
And the breathing. So how are we going to stop the test? We're going to stop the test by 3 reasons. The first reason, you will feel it's enough for me, but once again, it's a sub-maximal test, so I do not expect from you kind of this, but it's also still fine if you feel whatever, it's time to stop, feel free to stop the test. The second reason, when I will see the readings, the significant spike in your lactate concentration. Then we will stop the test, because make no sense to continue, because we already collect the whole data. Because obviously the fat oxidation the threshold will become much earlier. And the last reason why we're going to stop the test, once you point 16.
Which is like 8 out of 10 threshold pace.
That's it.
Good. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, perfect, Eli. So good luck.
Thank
you can start pedal. I will tell you when we start the test. You will see. So now it's just, as you can see, 50 watts. It's super easy. So try to not overspin. look at the cadence. So the cadence is the right graph. It's going to show you like, okay, now it's more than 100. So try to keep it in comfortable range. Seven. Okay. The first stage is done. Very good. The lactate concentration looks like you are not even producing any effort. So it's 0.6 milliliters, millimole per liter. So basically the reason to make the stage long, because it's why it's not 3 minutes, why it's 7 minutes. The reason to do that is to make sure that your body, your cardiovascular system, have enough time to adapt to the workload. So it's also affected the lactate utilization. So basically, after certain of the point, I'm gonna take 2 blood samples per stage to try to catch the moment where you're losing the stability and your body is not able to utilize the lactate you're producing. So that moment is gonna be considered as your last stage of the metabolic stability. And everything is above is your threshold. Perfect. Feeling well? Boring? 11. Mm-hmm. Looking good. Ellie, looking good. You can just drop it on the floor. Mm-hmm. 12. Very good, Ellie. Very good. Nice and easy. Your lactate concentration is increasing, but gradually and so slow. So we are still far away, still below 2 millimole per liter. So very good numbers. Starting from this stage, I'm gonna take samples 2 times per stage. So like 330, and then at the end of the stage. Mm-hmm. Looking good. 152, still far away from the maximal numbers. So this is only 81% from your maximal heart rate you've seen during the last half a year. So that's very good. Now the real work starts. Keep it up. Very good. Very good, Ellie. Very good. You look so calm. Amazing. 275. 7 minutes. That's good. That's good. I know that your ear is who suffered the most today. So. 14th. Mm-hmm. Good. We're done for today. Oh. Up. Yeah. You can just cool down.
We're done earlier than I expected.
Very good, my friend.
Wow, I sweat so much.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the tissues. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, well done. No, it's impressive. You've been...
I thought we could have kept on going.
Yeah, but as I said, it's not the maximal test. So, yeah.
Sorry.
No, please, feel free. Yeah, feel free.
Oh my gosh. The biggest thing was how thirsty I was.
I can imagine, yeah. Because the air is dry as well in the room, and additionally, the thing is that in the mask you're not able to drink. Yeah.
I'm like trying to swallow my own saliva.
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad at all. I could have kept on going.
Yeah, the thing is that you mentioned that it's 14th out of like 20, so it's like still like a lot to go. But the thing is that
The lactate?
the lactate spike. So basically, we met the first spike on the beginning of the stage 275. So from, let's say, 1.9 millimole per liter, we got 3. So this is a big step.
That is a big step.
That's a big step. And I just want to make sure that you are not stable anymore. That's why we complete the stage. And that's what we can see. 4.2 is already big gap, because if you can see, during the first stages, it's very gradually. So we had like below 100. So it was like,
for 9 p.m., I'm feeling pretty good.
yeah, it's definitely impressive numbers. Yeah, very nice. And don't forget that today we took the Elite protocol, what I usually use with Elite athletes.
Nice.
Yeah, very good. Well done.
Nice.
Well done. For 9 p.m., well done. Definitely.
We're done.
Yeah.
It was not a maximal effort. It was a sub-max.
Yeah, that was a set max.
Not bad at all. Not bad. I definitely could have kept on going. I think at least for another 10 minutes, if I was able to focus, I think we could have done the 305 and probably would have stopped somewhere around the 340.
Yeah. Good.
Not bad.
Let's go ahead and look at the results. So this is from the FTP test that we just did outdoors. So VO2 max, or our 5-minute all out, we managed 302 watts. Not quite an all out, but I think I had a little bit left in the tank, clearly. 167 beats per minute, 93 RPM. Now, when you take the average of my 2 FTP laps, we managed 286 watts. So 286, so we'll take 95% of that. 272. So looks like our outdoor test puts my FTP at 272 watts. So the question is, what will the lab bring? More on that when Viktor sends me the email with the results.
Okay, let's dig into these results because I'm finding these very interesting. So let's start with my strengths, first of all. I have a very low body fat percentage, around 8%. Not very low, but like that's pretty good. My lactate accumulation was not bad. Everything under 205, my lactate was basically under 1 millimole the entire time. My best rate of lactate oxidation occurred at between 240 and 275 at a heart rate of around 152 beats per minute. So this can be described as the final state of metabolic stability, where lactate production in my legs is matched by my body's ability to clear that lactate. So this puts my FTP at around 255. Around, because we're looking at the blood lactate data here. Now this is where things get interesting. That is a 17, maybe even near, like it could be 20 watts or more difference from the field test that we did. So let's talk about what actually accounts for that difference. Like 20 watts is not a minor number. So it seems that my biggest room for improvement, according to the test, was my metabolic flexibility. According to the fat max assessment, my fat oxidation levels were lower than average. It seems I have room for improvement there. So this is giving me, let's say, a window into my physiology. And let's actually talk about what the factors could be that are making this huge mismatch. Number one, the field test that I did outdoors still has some kind of anaerobic contribution. Now, I mentioned I am very anaerobically strong. A 5-minute all-out effort didn't exactly empty the anaerobic system. It just like dented it a little bit. You know, it fatigued it, but I didn't empty it. So there was still going to be anaerobic contribution. Whereas in the lab test, it was pure aerobic. Number two, the 95% rule that we talk about for calculating your FTP, you know, taking 95% of that 20-minute effort is not always 95%. For some, it might be 90%. For others, it might be 97%. For me, it seems it's probably a little bit lower. It could be 90 to 92%, seeing that I do have that high anaerobic contribution. So it could have been overestimated. So, okay, now where things get interesting. Environment, of course. Outdoor will always be higher. You literally have, you know, the wind in your face, you have lower perceived exertion, you have distractions, motivation as well, music, better cooling, better ventilation. And indoor, you don't have that. It's hot. I'm sitting there breathing through a tube, you know, it was really boring, etc. this is where the definition of the FTP test switches, whether you're doing a road test or whether you're doing a lab test. The road test, the definition is the highest amount of power that you can sustain for around 40 to 60 minutes, taken in a 20-minute test. In the lab, that's not the definition. The definition is the highest workload at which lactate production equals lactate clearance. That's more physiological, whereas outdoor, other factors can actually contribute to this, like we mentioned earlier. Motivation, anaerobic work, efficiency, psychological stuff. And it seems also that given my experience with the anaerobic capacity, perhaps I have a higher lactate buffering capacity. I'm also able to psychologically handle lactate better. And I kind of embrace the burn in the legs until a point where it just becomes a little bit too much. Because at 4.2 millimoles, when we stopped the test, I was still very comfortable. And I mentioned to Viktor, I could probably have gone for at least another 10 minutes. Seeing that my 5-minute power, max power, is just under 400 watts, my 10-minute being around 320 watts, like max power, I'm able to tolerate the discomfort. I'm able to handle the lactate, even at higher numbers, and willing to push a little bit harder than when my body is telling me to stop. So all in all, this was an extremely valuable test for me to find out what my true blood levels are telling me, what my body is capable of aerobically and anaerobically, and what my actual training zones are. That way, when I'm training, it seems my biggest room for improvement that I could potentially add 20, 30, 40 watts onto my power numbers is simply getting better at using fat for fuel, which is what I'm going to focus on in the next training block. And we can do a before and after to show what 12 weeks brings on my power numbers. Because at 4.2 millimoles, I was still thinking this kind of feels like a tempo effort and I can go a lot longer. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about these results. I was personally very intrigued by the near 20 watt difference in results. That's significant. Granted, again, this was done at 9 p.m., pretty late. I never ride that late. But I feel there's a lot that we can look at. There's a lot that we can learn from these kinds of tests. So thank you, Viktor. Thank you, Wolfis. And let's see what 12 weeks brings. Ciao.